2.5 weeks ago, my skateboard was stolen by an unknown individual who then made an Instagram account at SB Skateboard to post pictures of my board in various situations and scenarios and locations, all to taunt me and leave a little trail of clues for me to find them and their cabal of people that they were working with. This is how I figured out SB Skateboard's identity and got my skateboard back. Now that this whole situation is over, I can address some disinformation that I spread in the last video. Firstly, I knew that Cade was going to Sutherland for that sting operation, not because I physically saw him walk over there with his backpack. Nah, it's because I put a tracking device in his backpack. It's called a tile, and I took that out of the video because I wanted to maybe use it again in the future, and I didn't want the ops to know that I had one and was using it, but they found out anyway, and I never had a good opportunity to use it, but I had to do a lot of weird editing magic to get it to, those videos I took during that time to flow naturally, because we mentioned the tile all the time.
We're gonna plant the tile in his backpack.
Cade Hunter has been detected moving to Sutherland. I dropped it, but we got the tile back.
The tile tracking device. Secondly, by the time the second video was up, I had already strong suspicions that Judah was just a scapegoat, someone to be thrown under the bus for me to divert my attention to. And I had kind of picked up on this and was like, yeah, it's definitely not him, but they're making me think that it's him.
We're gonna throw him off the trail. Town tip leads to Judah.
So I intentionally put him in the thumbnail and made it seem like he was the culprit. That was just more disinformation and psyops. So what's the plan now? Basically, keep projecting the image that I think it's Judah, all the while gather more and more info and get closer and closer to the real culprit. As Sun Tzu says in The Art of War, when we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far. And when we are far, we must make them believe we are near. Now, while this culprit has pretty much the entire music department working against me actively and hiding everything from me, I still have people of my own. Sunday, April 20th, Easter, one of my most trusted informants, Peter, meets me in a parking lot to divulge some hot new intel. He says that morning, his brother Thomas and Emma Crane, you'll remember her from the first video, were bragging to his parents about some involvement that they have in the skateboard cabal. Emma lets it slip during this bragging that the initial suspect is female. She mentions that she stole the skateboard that night. She doesn't name drop anyone per se, but if we know that the only women there that night were Emma Crane, Grace Bond, and Ava Adamson, and since Emma was the one who gave the tip, implying it wasn't her, it's gotta be either Grace or Ava. Now Grace and Ava are roommates too, which makes it all the more simple. If one of them still has it in their shared possession, it gives us a much cleaner target. That's a huge lead. At this point, I need to remind myself that I know several things. Firstly, the culprit is working in a cabal of a lot of people, basically the whole music department, but the inner circle has about 3 to 5 additional people who all collectively know pretty much everything important there is to know about me for the purposes of keeping a skateboard away from me. Secondly, they collectively outnumber me in terms of manpower, collective free time, collective intelligence, brain power and planning skills, and monetary resources. They have basically every advantage over me. Not only that, they have the initiative in every single interaction that they take. They decide when they're going to do something, they decide how, and they decide where, and I have to react to it. And action always beats reaction. So therefore, the only advantage that I really even can have is my insanity. If I can be more insanely dedicated and committed to this bit than any of them individually are, then I have a slight chance of catching one of them off guard and getting my board back. But I have to be truly and fully dedicated. So with this in mind, for the sole purpose of throwing them off guard, hopefully gaining some ground in the investigation, I decide to do a 5-hour long stakeout outside of Judah Corsi's apartment. I'm hoping that maybe I see the board, but I know it's probably not going to happen. He's not the one who has it, and he's off campus all day, so if anyone else takes it there, it's not going to be him. Basically, all that happens is I see Samuel Allen walk in and out of the apartment a few times, and him and Kinsey go to Dutch Bros. Now, during this stakeout, I had several things going on in the background. Number one was I read The Art of War twice. Great book. And number two, I've set plans in motion that I don't have to be physically present for in order to get more information on the suspects. So I have a friend off campus named Gavin who works at that 12th Avenue Dutch Bros. He watched my second video and told me that he actually knows the security guard in that picture that was taken on Tuesday. He knows him because he's a regular. I asked him to go to the Dutch Bros, talk to all of his coworkers, and text them a suspect lineup so that when he shows up later that evening around 9, as he normally does, they can say, hey, remember that picture that was taken of you last week? Do you recognize any of these people? Well, they're the ones that took that photo of you. And he can tell me what happened. He identified Grace Bond as the one that took that picture. Later that night, at SB Skateboard made their last two posts. One of them was the skateboard at a gas pump, and the entire pump is fully in frame, which means I can see how much gas the last person who used the pump had filled up, which was about 19.5 gallons, meaning whoever was there last had about a 20-gallon tank. And the only people who drive cars big enough, like SUVs or vans and stuff, are Grace and Ava. Now, this ended up being a false lead because I have everybody's VIN numbers that were involved in this, so I could get all the information on their car. I even have like a spreadsheet of some of their schedules. None of them have cars with greater than 15-gallon tanks, so no one could have filled up 19.5 gallons in their car. It was a fun lead to chase anyway. I like knowing now that I can have anybody's VIN number I want. Now, evidence is all starting to line up. The suspect is female. Brian identifies Grace Bond as the person who took her photo. And also, I got another tip earlier from Luke Thomas. He talked to some of the guys in that freshman photo, remember? He said that one of the people there who took the photo was a girl with blonde highlights in her hair. Who has blonde highlights? Grace Bond. So, at this point, I know it's her. I learned this all basically within a day. Other people are confirming to me later throughout the week that she has it or it's in Dooley. Add on top of that, whenever I walk into the same room as her and look at her sideways or look at her in any way, she immediately just like feigns indignation and is like, why? Literally stop. I do have it. I don't know who has it. So it's Grace. We know it's Grace. Did I stick that? I stuck that. So it's Grace. It's obviously Grace. Now the only thing left for me to do is to get it back. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu says that quickness is the essence of war, or swiftness, depending on your translation. The question is, how do I actually get it back? So I debated several plans to get the board back that involved breaking into Dooley or her car, but I eventually scrapped those because I have morals and I decided that's probably not ethical and would take what is initially just a silly detective bit into something that actually is serious. But just to prove that I could have done it that way, this is what I would have done. Plan A is to just break into Grace's car every single day using my roommate's car key retrieval kit. It's a non-damaging way of opening someone's car door up enough slightly with an inflatable tube and then sticking a thing in there to hit the unlock key on your door. We've used it before to help people get their car keys out of their car. I totally could have done it. Plan B was to break into Grace and Ava's apartment using my friend who used to work for Treasure Valley Pest Control and a News officially contracted pest control company. He has the old uniform, he knows all of the people, has all the contacts, and knows how to get a skeleton key into any dorm room in any dorm. Goes in, he has the uniform, he has the credentials, he knows who to talk to, he knows how to arrange it, and then just walks in, uses the key to get into her room, grabs the board, and leaves. Simple as that. Either way, I was like, that's probably not smart, and it's still a huge breach of privacy, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. Although, there was like a day or two where I was like, maybe that's my only option, maybe I have to do that. I didn't do either of those things. I decided it was probably amoral, so I was like, let's go with something a little bit more sportsmanlike, and just stake out Dooley and wait for her to leave with the board, ambush her, or just wait till she comes back with it, hit her with like water guns, bonus points if she did her hair that day. But she didn't leave. She didn't do anything with the board for like a week. She just sat on it and hoarded it like Smaug from The Hobbit and the Arkenstone. I need you to understand me. She didn't do anything. She just stopped. Like the day I figured out that it was her. Commitment to the bit. I don't care if it was finals week. It was finals week for me too. Do you know what I was doing? Having stakeouts in front of Dooley every day. I was intentionally parking my car like in other parking lots to make it seem like I was in other places. I was posting stuff to my story. I was so committed, and you did nothing. Did nothing. So eventually, since she wasn't doing anything at all, I just confronted her in person and was like, hey, you know, when finals are over, I want my skateboard back. Can you give me my skateboard back, please? I know it's you. I've known it's you for a while. And she was like, yeah, I was planning on giving it back to you on Monday during the music department dinner. I mean, I'm not saying you're farming attention. I was hoping that maybe I could get it back before then. I still kept watching. Nothing happened. She just kept it in her car. So on Monday, she gave me back my skateboard. Here it is in all of its glory. It's back in my possession, and it's never leaving my sight ever again. And that's it. That's basically it. I guess finally, here's some misinformation or things that I got wrong in the last videos. She didn't actually see the Minecraft movie. She just pulled up, asked the employees if she could use an empty theater to take photos in, and left. Pretty funny. Same thing with the airport. She wasn't dropping anybody off at the airport. It's just her and Ava went there to take photos and left. They just had too much time on their hands. Anyway, that concludes the Skateboard Saga. That is pretty much everything that happened. And I hope you enjoyed watching. It was fun, to be clear. I had a lot of fun this whole time. It was a little bit frustrating at the end that Grace just stopped with the bit. Like, I don't care that it's finals week. It's finals week for me too. Finals be damned. I'll phone in the last few papers. This is important. There's people watching. Come on. Anyway, that's about it. Get a life. Grace Bond and everyone else. Have a great summer.